Javier Hernández. He picked up that hamstring injury preseason. He wasn't available for that first now postponed match against LAFC. Now the question surrounding Chicharito is, will he be available this weekend at Dallas? Now the Mexican striker took it upon himself to clarify his injury status, and that didn't really sit well with Greg Vanney. Let's take a listen.
¿Voy a jugar en Dallas? No, no voy a jugar. Me estoy recuperando también de mi lesión. Voy a estar entre 2 a 5 semanas más de lesión porque tenemos que tener mucho cuidado para no tener recaídas.
At the end of the day, players sometimes get out in front of it and they want to let fans or their people know kind of how they're doing because people might be asking a question. But ultimately, there's a way, the time, and a place to give that because it's also about the opposition. It's about game management, game prep, all those kinds of things. So there's a lot of pieces to it, but it's not earth-shattering.
It's not earth-shattering, but are you cool with it, Herc?
I am cool with it, absolutely, because I'm one of these fans, if you will, or people who consume this game that get upset when it's Major League Soccer or whatever league or whatever club doesn't disclose an injury, just keeps everybody in the dark. So I don't like that. But certainly, you got to be careful if you're Chicharito Hernández for 2 reasons. One, because guess who may not be cool with it? Your head coach, the guy who makes the decisions. And why? Well, Greg Vanney spoke right there very well of, you just let the opposition know, not only FC Dallas that you won't be available, which could alter the game plan and how they face you, but future opponents, 2 to 5 weeks. So now you're telling the rest of the league, like, hey, he ain't going to be here for that long or won't be there for a while. And also fans. And this is where I think Javier Hernández to be very careful. Javier Hernández is a very good player. And every year has gotten better in terms of production for the LA Galaxy. Last year, he only missed 2 games. None of them due to injury. But the year before that, and the year before that with the LA Galaxy, it was a calf strain. Muscular injury, missed lots of games. And fans expect a lot out of Javier Hernández, expect a lot out of him in terms of goals, in terms of wins, but you have to be on the field. And the LA Galaxy fans right now are fed up. They're fed up with Chris Klein. They're fed up with the Galaxy FO. They're boycotting. They want to see the team do well. They can't make any moves in the summer, so they can ill afford to see their best goal scorer in the last 3 years, plus not be on the field. And he's communicating during a Twitch while he's playing video games. So you have to be careful if you're Javier Hernández.
Yeah, and of course, Greg Vanney speaking so frankly about it, but then says it's not earth-shattering. It's okay if it is a little bit, you know, going into your game plan. And like you said, I think it's a big giveaway for the rivals, especially if last year, what you mentioned last season, he was so fit. Yeah, but I don't know if you necessarily can really do anything. I think it's the classic, we're in this social media age where it's really hard to control everything and what they say online, but...
You mean you can control what you say online? Don't say it, you know? You can't control what somebody else says about you. I understand that, but Javier Hernández can control what he says on the Twitch.
Did they tell him, though, to not say it? That's my question.
You don't have to be told to not say it. It goes without saying.
Okay.
I mean, if the club isn't disclosing it, there's for a reason.
For a reason, yeah.
So if you go out and say it, that's on you. I am cool with it, but you should assume the consequences when it's out there.
I'm not cool with it, to be completely honest. I think it's good that Greg Vanney's coming out and saying that, yeah, it's not earth-shattering, but it's not something that's ideal for the situation. And yeah, he should speak very frankly about it. I'm sure they've already probably had a conversation about it. But I was able to cover a lot of, you know, the LA Galaxy games. And when Chicharito was subbed off, he was obviously very upset most of the time, and Greg Vanney, in one instance, went over and was comforting him. I don't think that was very necessary. That's kind of my opinion about it. So it's good that there's kind of like this, no, it's a strong kind of opposition, and at the end of the day, I'm your coach, and this wasn't okay.
Yeah, here's the problem with Major League Soccer, and I've experienced this in many lockers within Major League Soccer, is oftentimes the players can be the highest paid people in the organization. And when you're a player of that impact, you assume you have a certain amount of power that goes with it. The head coach is still the head coach.
Yeah.
And maybe Greg Vanney's hands are tied on whether Chicharito plays or not, and I mean that respectfully.
Yeah.
Because when you pay that amount of money for a player when he's a DP and your DPs have to be on the field for you to be successful, you're almost handcuffed in a sense. But I agree with what you're saying. It's good to see Greg Vanney kind of set some boundaries.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.